Welcome back to Lou's Professional Channel on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Josh's Cemetery Chats. This video is going to be a little more personal, and I want to share some things in the hopes that I might be able to help some people out that might be going through some similar things that I've gone through. Basically, I'm sharing some experiences from the course of my life and some things that I've learned some lessons from. It all makes sense in the end. There's a relevant reason why I'm talking about this today. But before we get started, I want to thank the patrons. So I've got some patrons over on Patreon that have signed up. I'll put their names up here. Your name could be among those. And with Patreon comes little perks like behind the scenes, early access to videos, your name in the videos. I've got tiers up there for things like I send out a monthly postcard to patrons at a certain tier, as well as some other little perks and benefits, prints that I'm going to be sending out and that kind of thing. And some cool stuff I've got planned for this fall. Right now, more than ever, the Patreon is super important to me. More so because I got laid off recently. The company that I've been working for a little over a year decided that me and about 700 other people weren't worth having around anymore and decided to get rid of us. So we got laid off. It sucks, but it also opens up a whole new chapter for me. And so that's kind of what I wanted to go on and talk a little bit about. So my entire life, I've always been told, you can't do this, you can't do that, you'll never amount to much. Like, I've never had anybody really believe in me or support me or think that I'm really worth doing anything. You know, like, I'm never going to be able to accomplish anything. When I was younger, for my childhood, as you probably know if you've been watching for a while, I'm a big Buckeye fan. I wanted to play for Ohio State, go to college and play football for Ohio State. And I was told by multiple people that that wouldn't be a thing, that it was just too difficult, there was no way. And because nobody believed in me, I listened to them. And I wound up never accomplishing that goal. I wanted to be for a while. I was I was really into, and I still am, you know, I love music, but I wanted to be a country music star. I grew up watching Garth Brooks and got excited seeing that type of environment and his concerts and that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. Again, I got a lot of naysayers. People tell me you can't do that. It's not, you know, it's not feasible. You need to be looking at a real career or something like that. And it just kind of continued throughout my life. And as I got out on my own, as I became an adult, and I started trying to find my way through life, I hit a bunch of roadblocks along the way, different things happening. A lot of it just because I wasn't sure what direction to go. I wasn't sure what I was doing, especially as a young adult. And I never had anybody there that was particularly there to believe in me and say, yes, you got this, you can do it. And so I struggled for a long time, and I worked hard, and I joined the military. I was in the Army for a little over 3 years on active duty, another 2.5 years in the reserves. I went to Iraq. I spent some time after I got back from all of that. I was working a really hard manual labor job. Wound up getting into IT. I've been busting my butt all along the way. I left the company that I had been at for 7 years to work for the company that had just laid me off. And all this time I've been working for other people, and I've been trying to, you know, move my way up the ladder and do the normal corporate path, and what everybody tells you, like, you have to do things this way, you need to work for somebody else. It's just not attainable to do anything other than work for somebody else for 40 years and then retire. But over the past year, as I've been doing this YouTube thing and I've been focusing on photography, I've learned a lot, and I've really kind of changed my thinking and my perception. And I think this fits well for a cemetery chat, because you only get so many years to enjoy your life, and you never know when that time is going to be up. You never know when, you know, one day you think everything's great, you got the future in front of you, the next day they're lowering you into a hole in the ground. And so the more I've thought about it in the last year, the more restless I've gotten, the more I've been like, you know, I really want to do this YouTube thing. I want to do photography, you know, taking pictures for people, whether that's family portraits or headshots or whatever people are interested in, doing that kind of thing, and finding a way to make some money, make a living off of that, because that's what's really I'm passionate about. And I've found I haven't been this passionate about something in a long, long time. And I kind of lost a little bit of that passion over the past few months because I was working full time. Work was getting to me. It was getting frustrating. It was one of those deals where if you've ever worked, whether it's a corporate job or even for a smaller company, typically you've got people at the top that they know how to do business type stuff. Maybe they've been to a business school, they've got a degree in finance or whatever, but they don't have a clue how to actually run the day-to-day things. And when you're the person doing the day-to-day stuff and you've got somebody that doesn't have a clue what your job is, telling you how to do your job, that gets frustrating. And so I've spent a lot of time with that, and it had beat me down to the point where I was tired. I've been worn out. I've been exhausted. That, coupled with a lot of other different things and changes in my life recently, has all just been so much to take on. And then I got laid off. And it opened the door for me, and it caused me to take a step back and think to myself, what do I want to do? Do I want to jump right back into another corporate job? Do I want to do something like that where it's going to be, who knows if a year from now they decide, that my position is not worth it again and I get laid off again? Because I saw that at the prior company I worked at, they did an almost annual layoff cycle. And I've heard from other people I've talked to that they've been in companies with similar situations where every year the company's just like, we don't need these people anymore. And do I want to put myself back in that position? So for the short term, I want to really focus on this. Today is a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I normally wouldn't be able to come out and film like this. The weather's beautiful. It's a perfect day for filming, and normally I would be sitting inside staring at a laptop screen and being miserable. And so I'm excited because I can get out and do this. And it's one of those things where after my entire life of hearing people say you can't, I still am hearing that. I've got people telling me, well, you should be focused on this other thing. You should be focused on, get back into the corporate world, get back into all this stuff because that's where the money's at. But if you're not happy and if you're toiling away at it, is it really worth it? At least in the short term for me, it's not. So I'm hoping that somebody out there, if you're going through something, maybe you've spent time, whether you're younger or older, if you've had people telling you can't, don't even bother, it's not worth it, you'll never succeed, don't listen to those people. You have to try it. Try it for yourself. Do what you're passionate about. And if you can do that, and if you really put yourself into it and you really push and you really try at it, you're going to eventually succeed. It might take some time, it might be rough, you might go through really tough times, but you have to push, you have to try, because if you don't, you're going to wind up miserable. You're going to spend a lot of years, I've had some great experiences. I've had some things I wouldn't trade away. I wouldn't take back anything that's happened in my life, good, bad, or indifferent. But I wish that I would have listened to myself earlier on in my life and driven myself a little harder for things like playing football at a college level and the stuff that I really was passionate about back then. Because ultimately, if I had done that then, I wouldn't have the same regrets. I regret not trying harder. I regret not chasing my dreams back then, and I don't want to make that mistake again. So that's this whole video. Hopefully, I'm hoping that somebody out there sees this and gets something out of it and can say, yeah, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. And maybe you chase your dreams when you were afraid to. Maybe people have been telling you that you can't do it, don't even bother trying. Get out there and do it. Now more than ever, because of all the stuff going on in the world, there's so much happening right now. It's hard to even turn on the news. Over the past couple of months, it's been depressing. The past couple of years, really. You go with COVID, and then we got the war, we got the recession, we got all this stuff going on right now, and it can be really depressing to even turn on the news, and couple that on top of not chasing your dreams, being miserable in a day-to-day job where you hate life, you hate waking up, you hate getting in and doing something that you don't like doing. take some time and chase your dreams. Do what you want to do. There's going to be sacrifices, but you might wind up in a position better off than where you started and much happier. And like I said in a recent cemetery chat, I think it was the last one, I was talking about the dash on your stone being your entire life. What do you want that dash to represent? Do you want it to represent toiling for 40 years under somebody who doesn't give a crap about you? Or do you want it to represent you doing something you're passionate about, taking every day for everything that it offers, loving the people around you, caring for others, and being a good friend? Do you want that to be your legacy? So I think that's all I've got for this video. I'm trying to get more. I've got some plans to do some more stuff. I've got to lay out a little bit more of a schedule, I think, for the next week or two. This was just the day that I was able to get out and film a couple things. And it may or may not be my birthday. It's my channel's birthday, technically. And if you notice, you may or may not recognize this cemetery because I didn't show this part, but this was the very first cemetery that I filmed in when I started filming last year. I came to this cemetery. This is the Amanda Clear Creek Cemetery, or Township Cemetery. This is the very first one I came out to, and at the time there was storms all over the place, so you could see like big puffy clouds and stuff. And I got a picture. It was right over there somewhere, and I got a picture with the clouds and the headstones and stuff like that. It was one of my early on type of things. And it was the same type of premise in that initial video of just get out there, and that one was talking about photography. Get out there, take pictures, and enjoy yourself. And this is kind of along the same line. So I wanted to come back to where it all began, to start a new beginning as I get into the next chapter of my life. And I hope that you'll be along for the ride. So like I said in the beginning, I've got a Patreon. That's going to be really important to me moving forward. I've got some other things in the works. I've got some merchandise. I'm trying to get a photography business started up here in Central Ohio. So I'm going to be working on that over the next month or so. And just kind of seeing where that goes. And of course, YouTube. I'm going to be focused heavily on YouTube for the next couple of months at least. So really pushing, really driving, trying to make the best content I possibly can and get more out there for you guys, because I've really been enjoying it. It's a lot of fun to me. This is where I enjoy myself. It's not sitting in front of a computer all day. So that being said, if you got something out of the video, if you just enjoyed it, hit the like button. It means a lot to me. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Like I said, I'm trying to grow, trying to get things kind of rolling here. So subscribe if you aren't already, and I think that's all I've got. Fred, do you have anything? He's always super quiet. I don't understand him. I take him everywhere, but he doesn't want to talk. I don't understand it. Alright, well, everybody have a great rest of your day. I'll put a video up here so you can check that one out. Okay, well, Fred says that you should check this video out. Until next time, everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.